you weren't just some guy. You were the guy. And then you got into the NFL, okay? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. He was loaded so bad that he couldn't get together.
Well, you hand a 21-year-old, 22-year-old some money. Of course, I spent that on the bottle.
If someone has a problem with substance use disorder, please call One Call Placement. That's 888-831-1581. And if we can't help you, we'll make a referral to someone who can. One Call Placement is affiliated with Carrera Treatment, Wellness and Spa and One Method Treatment Centers.
Today I have a special guest, one of the greatest college running backs of all time, Montee Ball. Nice to have you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure.
This is a privilege, so thank you.
Privilege is all mine. I'm going to give the viewers a little background.
Of course.
Okay. So, from Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you play high school?
Yeah, Timberland High School, Winsville, Missouri.
And what was the process like after high school with the recruiting?
Yeah, it was... when I share this, it was fast. It happened so quickly. Those 4 years in high school are a blur. But I most definitely remember my junior year. So this would have been 2007, 2008, in Winsville, Missouri, receiving, full ride scholarships in the mail. I narrowed them down between Iowa, Wisconsin, and Stanford, actually.
Really?
And then I narrowed it between Stanford and Wisconsin. And
you're the only person to ever choose Wisconsin over Stanford.
yeah. It was. I didn't want to be too far from home, from the Midwest at the time, right? That a little kid, not knowing so much about Cali, not knowing much about Stanford as well. I remember Harbaugh called my house line, chatted with him. But long story short, that process is a beautiful one, an exciting time for myself and my family as well.
Was the draft then and the rankings, like the ESPN 300 rankings and all that stuff, but then they go to the mock drafts. You were drafted in the second round, and I was in shock. I used to watch the draft like religion. It would be a 3-day affair, right?
First, I think first day is first round, then second day is 2 through 4. 2
through 4,
and then you're right, yes sir.
5 through 7,
yep.
Right? And I was in shock. What did that feel like to you after having the last 2 years that were as good as anybody's ever had, and then you're like, second round? Were you prepared for that? Did your agent prepare you for that? What was that like?
Yeah, it was, again, it's leading up to that moment, of course, same, right? Right after high school, I signed the letter of intent to be a Badger, went up to Wisconsin. I wanted to be as good or better than Ron Dane. That was my motivation, right? I loved the way that they ran the football. I loved the atmosphere, the campus, to the fans, the education as well. And so once I hit my junior year, same thing, right? Junior year in college, which would have been 2011, we landed Russell Wilson that year. We were on fire.
You had Russell Wilson that year?
Yeah. So I played with J.J. Watt. I played with the Watt brothers.
Wow.
Russell Wilson. We were rock stars. We were ranked third in the country.
That's insane.
A blessing for sure, just to be next to those greats. And so then... yeah, same thing, right? Obviously not receiving full ride scholarships at this moment in 2011, but of course I had my agent who was getting calls, because in 2011, after 3 years of playing college football, you have the opportunity to go on to the next level. Well, I decided to stay. In hindsight, I would change that, but I stayed for 2012 season, and 2011 actually was the year I was up for the Heisman. They flew me out to New York, had the opportunity to meet up with Robert Griffin III, Andrew Luck, all of these great guys. And so to your point, yeah, a phenomenal year, decided to come back, had a great year as well. And then, yeah, my agent did prep me for the draft, sharing with me that, hey, it's a pretty deep class for running backs. Eddie Lacy, Le'Veon Bell, Giovanni Bernard, a lot of great running backs. And so I knew that I wasn't going to go first round. I kind of felt that. Rented out a banquet hall in Madison, Wisconsin. Didn't want to go to New York because I can only get like 1 or 2 guests. Right. I was like, I want family and friends to enjoy themselves here with this moment. And so first round, I kind of was just sitting there. I was like, hey, I'm probably not going to get a call today, family and friends. And then obviously the following day, right, came about, and my agent was like, okay, today you're most likely going to get picked. And, I'm sitting there playing with a Rubik's Cube at the moment because I'm just super anxious, right? My family and friends are having a good time.
Yeah, that's why you didn't make it in the NFL, because you played with the Rubik's Cube. But go on.
Yeah, right. And so to make a long story short here, it's literally I'm sitting there playing with this Rubik's Cube. My phone's propped up against a glass of water. I'm nervous. Everyone's having a good time. And I see these backs getting called and picked. And I'm like, goodness gracious, where am I going to live right now out of the 50 states or wherever these teams are, these 32 teams, whatever. And my phone falls because it started to vibrate. And I pick it up, and it's a 303 number, and it says Denver, Colorado. And I jumped up. I started hitting my dad, and I answered the phone, and it was John Elway asking me if I want to be a Bronco.
Wow.
And
the first question he should have asked you is, why didn't you go to Stanford?
yeah, right? Seriously.
But I didn't know you were playing with all those guys, so you made the right choice.
It was we were playing some really good football. And honestly, I don't think, I grew up a Broncos fan from Missouri. My room was blue and orange my entire life until, of course, I took off to college. I had a Broncos head in my room, a Terrell Davis blow up in my room.
What a star he was.
Right.
Two
yeah.
2 in a row. They'd have nothing without him. And they were thinking about, oh, is he a Hall of Famer? Morons.
So, again, those 4 years went by quick as well. Loved them. Decided to stay for my senior year. And I think if I didn't, I wouldn't have been chosen by the Broncos. It just wouldn't have fallen into place like that. And so I accomplished my dream.
That's fantastic. What was it like to walk in to the Denver Broncos and know that you are playing with Peyton Manning?
Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man. It's that night when they called my name. Of course, I'm 21. I'm 22 at the time. Mm-hmm. And I go out later in the evening once my family and goes to sleep, and I'm at the bar, and I get a text from this number, long text, looking forward to having you on the team, looking forward to winning a championship with you, congratulations, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end, it said Peyton Manning, and I'm 22 years old. I'm like Peyton Manning just texted me, and so when it was time to, of course, to report to the facility, I was starstruck, right? Meeting a lot of these guys, Von Miller, Chris Harris, a lot of these greats, these Hall of Famers. But of course, right, as a kid, everyone knows Peyton Manning. And so when he came around the corner, love the guy to death. I always say this part, his forehead came around the corner first. And
that's right. He's tall.
Yes, he is.
He's like 6'5".
Genius, by the way, too, of the game of football. But genius. I was starstruck, right? I literally told him, I was 11 years old. I was 12 playing you on Madden. Always wanting to be a Bronco in my life. You land with the Broncos after the Colts, and now I'm here. Here I am playing with you.
I don't even watch the Colts anymore because they were disloyal to him. I won't even watch Colts. I love the Broncos like you wouldn't believe.
Really?
Oh God, are you kidding me? That was
yes.
First of all,
nice.
I don't love teams. I love players. Okay. So I never missed a Colts game ever. Not ever. Okay, when Peyton played. Never. Right? And then, he had his neck surgery, right, and he was out for an entire year. And they thought it was a good idea to upgrade. Now, Andrew Luck was great. Mm-hmm. Andrew Luck's a star player. Okay? His story is similar to yours in that it ended too soon. But that was his choice. Right? And what I want to talk about is you had it all. Mm-hmm. people in AA, you'll go to AA, you'll listen at the podium, and people talk about losing it all. Not really. You lost it all. All of it.
All of it.
All of it. You were, try to understand, I got to explain for the viewers. They don't really fully understand. This was the best running back in college football. Not 1 year, 2 years in a row. Not close and no debate. Right? Then you go to play with Demaryius Thomas, Peyton Manning. Who the hell else was who else was receiving for them?
Eric Decker.
Eric Decker. Who else?
Julius Thomas, tight end.
Julius Thomas, tight end. Who was the other tight end? Another one.
Virgil Green. He was more of a blocking tight end, but long story short, that was Peyton Manning's MVP year. One of his MVP years, 55 touchdowns.
And 10 interceptions.
Unreal year.
5,400 and something.
5,400. Unreal. I think it still leads the NFL in most passing yards in one season.
Oh,
I think he's got Breeze by like 4 yards.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Dude, who's the best quarterback of all time?
So after the Broncos, I went to the Pats for a quick minute.
So you played with both.
Yes. And and of course, when I went over there, a guy by the name of James White, who was the running back there, we were roommates in college.
Very cool.
He's a Badger as well. So we were literally roommates. So I was like, okay, I'll go there. And of course, it's Tom Brady, and he was Michigan, we're Wisconsin. So we were just chatting Big Ten football all the time. But if I had to choose a quarterback, gosh, if I had to build my team, I am so grateful to have played with Peyton Manning, and I love that he's a brilliant mind. I'm going Brady. I'm going Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah, I am going Tom Brady. And I
think if you asked Tom Brady, I think he'd tell you Peyton Manning.
Right. That's why I don't think there's a wrong answer. I mean, these guys are anomalies at what they were great at. Peyton Manning pre-snap, there's no one like him. Genius. Absolute genius. That was the most stressful part about playing with him, is trying to keep up with his mind. It's just impossible. Pre-snap. Brady does such a great job of making players feel comfortable and telling them not to play outside of their shoes. We brought you here for a reason. You have a skill set that we can utilize. Just a great, and that killer instinct as well.
We did so. That is so amazing. You played with two of the greatest quarterbacks in history. Like, those two guys are on Mount Rushmore for quarterbacks.
Absolutely, easily.
And you played for both of them. And then there's just Joe Montana and well, he's the best.
I know.
Okay, in my mind, that's the best of all time. Okay, but he goes away, and then you got to you need something, and that is amazing that you played with those two guys.
I think it's I know we're gonna eventually get to this point, and we're chatting about.
Oh, we're gonna do it all.
Throwing it away, and it's a. Let me not get ahead of myself here.
No, let me just tell you why I'm bringing it up.
Not
to be a fanboy, but I am a fanboy because I love the NFL. I loved the NFL until I went down and testified at the NFL and saw that it was a modern day lynching on a client of mine. Okay, and they had the Uncle Tom, the only black guy in the room, named Henderson, okay, sitting there doing my boy, okay, and I just did that whole room.
Good for you, honestly.
Okay, and then I got up and I gave my boy a hug and a kiss, and I said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this." And he ended up getting 6 games back. They took 16 games from him, and we ended up getting him back 6 games.
All right.
Okay. But I am a fan of this. But it's because I'm a fan of this that I know what you lost. Mm-hmm. And to paint a picture for the viewers, you weren't just some guy. You were the guy. And then you got into the NFL. Okay? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
This doesn't make sense. He was f***ed up. He was loaded so bad that he couldn't get it together and lost it all.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was, I think in order to answer that question, we got to chat a little bit just really quickly about how I was developing that relationship with the bottle in college.
Yes.
I strengthened that relationship in 2011, which was my best year on the field. That's the year I tied Barry Sanders' touchdown record in the season. And I was actually having my worst year off the field, isolation. In a nutshell, this performance anxiety was crushing me.
Before the games?
Before the games, to even after the games, to practices, right? Just this performance of having to continue to perform at such a high level, and not having an outlet. At least I felt that way. My outlet was the bottle. And also for me, it was tough because my family loved them to death. I'm extremely close with my parents and my sisters. They moved up to Madison, Wisconsin my freshman year in college. They quit their jobs, sold their home. And so I also had this familial pressure of I have no choice. I have to succeed. I have to. Even though I know for a fact they would have said, you can go do something else if you want. We don't care. But, I felt they made such a significant sacrifice that I have no choice.
They just wanted to be with their boy.
Of course. But, in an impressionable stage in my life, 16, 17, 18, or whatever it was, I went towards the most accessible option, which was alcohol at the time. And so I really started to develop that relationship then. And fast forward to getting drafted by my favorite team, it was like, hey, mom and dad, see, nothing's wrong with me. I'm accomplishing my dreams. This feedback loop of you're doing fine, you're fine, because you're literally still accomplishing your dreams, not paying attention, of course, to how I'm taking care of my body or the lack thereof off the field. Well, you hand a 21-year-old, 22-year-old some money. $40 is what I had in my bank account when I got drafted, or before the call and after the call, X amount of dollars. Now I can go anywhere on the planet. Of course, I spent that on the bottle. Literally packed up my luggage with my clothes and alcohol. I took off to Denver, Colorado. And in this process of playing for my favorite team, my ego swelled up as well. And so when we talk about losing it all, I you've mentioned that a couple of times, and I'm very quick to say yes, because there is zero ambiguity there whatsoever. That is exactly what happened. Because once I played in the Super Bowl my rookie year, side by side with Peyton Manning, to come back for 2014, I tear my groin week 4 because I'm not taking care of my body. I then try to rush to get back by
That was in year 2.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my fault. By year 2 in 2014, tear my groin. And then St. Louis Rams, when they're in St. Louis, is on the schedule on week 11 or week 12. So, of course, where I'm from, I'm trying to rush back through PT to get back to that. I tear it second play of the game. And so my career literally started in Missouri and ended there because that was my last, real football game. But what happened was, come year 3, 2015, I'm released prior to the season. I then go back to Madison, Wisconsin. This is my first ever fall in years of not having shoulder pads on or a helmet. I drank more. I was, that time that I had, the free time, I was declining phone calls from the Jets, the Bears, my agent, and I was drinking. And of course, at this point, right, I completely fell victim to the bottle. Yeah, I was gone. Completely just immersed in partying 5-6 days a week, to the fullest, of drinking heavily, spending an unhealthy amount of money that I most definitely would love to have now, that I was just blowing, and developed some unhealthy relationships as well. I wasn't taking care of my body. I didn't like myself. I sort of started to see that door closing with the Broncos, and so I began to become angry at everybody else but myself. I couldn't face the music that I did this. Yes, there is an addiction that was at play, but there were times when I could have opened up, and I wish I did. And so, of course, to the tough part of the story, those frustrations that I had, that I couldn't look myself in the mirror and correct, I, of course, took them out on someone very close to me.
What happened there?
Yeah. At the time, my partner, we had a hotel. She wanted to do something special for me at a hotel. And I get a text from one of my guy friends that this bar is having an open bar. And I'm like, well, I got to go to this open bar. It's open bar in Madison. I'm going. Of course, she wasn't too happy about that. Fast forward to finally stumbling back into the hotel at 3 a.m. She's upset with me, of course. We're exchanging some hurtful words. Of course, it's all a blur to me. I'm completely just drunk, blacked out drunk, and what occurred, of course, was something I'm most definitely not proud of. Where I'm trying to leave to go to a different hotel because at the time I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm drunk. I want to go to bed. And she, of course, rightfully so, wanted to get her words out because I hurt her emotionally at the time. But what occurred was I shoved her away from me pretty aggressively, and she injured her leg on a desk, and cowardly Montee at the time didn't try to help her and walked out of the hotel. And as I'm walking out towards a different hotel, cops swoop up and they say, "Are you Montee?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so that mistake, I lost everything, literally in that moment, rightfully so.
You with this woman today?
No. We made amends about 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She reached out. I didn't feel like it would be appropriate for me to reach out, as if it's like another step, which
Right.
12 steps is great, but it wouldn't be appropriate
That's
in this situation.
But she reached out.
And she did.
What'd she say?
She was apologizing.
Yeah.
And I told her, you don't have to apologize.
Okay, whatever. I don't have an ear for that. Listen, you're so good. You're so impressive. People tell me all the time, you're a miracle. You overcame everything. You lost everything. Dude, I didn't lose shit. I wasn't going to the NFL. Okay?
Yeah.
You were hanging out with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. The only time I ever met Peyton Manning and sat with him in his office for a half hour, he couldn't wait to get rid of me. Could not wait to get rid of me. Oh my God.
I hear you loud and clear. And no matter what, I can sit here and say, oh, she did this. Oh, I did this. At every moment in my life, I'm in control of my actions and how I respond to stimuli. And so for me, it was a moment of, which is what I learned in therapy to follow, which I would love to get into talking about in a bit, is that gap in between the stimulus and, of course, your response. Mine was very short. My window in between those two were very short. And, of course, it cost me everything.
Yeah, but it did cost you everything. But what you got now is amazing. It's amazing. So I'm going to tell you a story.
Please.
So I opened up my last place in 2004, and I didn't make any money at it until 2012. So I was just a rat on a rat wheel like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I was with my therapist and we were talking about it, and I explained why that was. I was very clear on why I sucked. Okay? Because I had AA as my foundation. And when you're in AA, you're supposed to do it for fun and for free. And I always did it for fun and for free. I always had people on my couch. I always put people in sober livings. I took people to breakfast. I did everything. I had a commitment in every meeting.
Yeah.
Okay? I love AA. And so I knew why, right? I didn't feel clean. How am I making money off people's alcoholism, their misfortune? It didn't feel good to me. It didn't feel right to me. So For 3 straight years, every year, there's this Swami that comes into town from India, and we sit with each other for an hour. Once a year, every year, we sit together in Malibu. And for 3 straight years, I'm crying to him. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I don't feel good about it. Right? All this stuff. Right? And for 3 years, he just said the same thing to me over and over again. Wouldn't it be a better world if everyone could help people for a living? Yeah, but 3 years, that's all he said to me for 3 straight hours. And I'm slow. So on the 3rd year, at the end of our session, I gave him a hug and a kiss, and I said, how long were you going to keep doing that? And he said, until you heard it. It took 3 years. Okay?
Wow.
But what happened at that point was I felt good now about what I was doing. And then we started thriving and we started growing. And I probably gave 10,000 people back to their loved ones.
Exactly.
Right? And you're doing that now. You're going ahead and people call you completely distraught because of their loved one. And do you have children?
I do. I'm 9 years in recovery and I have a 9-year-old son. Yeah.
That's right. Kid never saw you loaded.
No, never.
He will never know a father who is like that.
Never. Maverick. That's his name.
Wow. That's bitchin'. So now what you do is you help people in crisis get their lives back, which affects an entire family system. The kids now have a present father or mother, right?
Yes, sir.
The marital union stays tight. You know, nobody's losing jobs or going to jail. No one's got health problems as a result of alcoholism. You stop all of that in its tracks. You go out, you do an intervention, you grab somebody, and you put them into the best fit because you know what the right fit is.
Oh, yeah. I do.
You have given mothers back their boys and fathers back their daughters. Is there anything better than that?
There's not. There really isn't. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel. There's nothing mundane about it whatsoever because everyone's story is different. It is a case by case situation, but the end result is, of course, we all want, and that's what I love getting them to. And so, this is what I do. I just had a gentleman, and I'm not just. It's wild how it just happened this morning, but I promise you, I'll show you after this show. In my phone, I just had a gentleman text me. Today's his 1 year. We started talking 3 years ago, and he was struggling. He just reached out to me on X. And I just gave him my cell, a random guy and a human being. And literally this morning, he finally hit his 1 year and was texting me. And so I love that stuff. And so for me, it's, of course, are there still moments when I lose sleep about losing things? Of course. Do I still dream about changing? Like if I just would not have gone in that direction? Absolutely. But for me, my life is living proof. I'm biased, of course, but everything happens for a reason. I thought that I was going to ride off into the sunset with a gold jacket, right? Being the greatest NFL running back of all time. That's what my dream was when I was 8. But my higher power was like, no. We gotta fix this. And you're going to be there for other people, a lot of people.
You know, the viewers may not understand, but it's impossible to focus, as you know, on other people's problems and try to be that solution for them and think about your own problems. It doesn't work that way.
It's tough. It is tough. That's why I still have my therapist today. So I went through intensive outpatient treatment, and I was fortunate enough that therapeutic alliance happened pretty early on, which is rare at times for folks to find that right therapist early on. But for me, I was lucky enough to find a guy who used to open up at times for Metallica. And so he knew somewhat of that lifestyle, right? Like, we're in the same ballpark here of lights, cameras, actions, women, infidelity, if they're married, like all drugs, alcohol, all of that. He understood it. And so we bonded immediately. And he's still a guy I see today. And so, yes, it's difficult to, I guess my point being is he's still helping me today. Someone who I see where I can sort of chat with him. He can be a soundboard. He can help me out with some things mentally as I'm continuing to help thousands of others.
You know, I've met scores of athletes, scores of them.
Yeah.
You're the most impressive athlete I've ever met.
I appreciate that.
Ever.
Richard.
Ever. You are as human and as grounded and as decent as anybody I have ever met from the world of sports, ever.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. Get me emotional here, because yeah, there were many years, man, of just, and this is what people go through, right? It's that slippery slope where you feel, I let so many people down, man. My family, of course.
You didn't let anybody down. I want to tell you something. Most people, in your position, play sports forever, and then 3 years after they're done, they're flat and broke. Everybody. You're not.
No.
You don't have brain damage, so there's no CTE. You feeling good physically?
I feel great.
Feel good physically.
Yeah.
You look good physically.
Thank you.
Right? I mean, you're doing the right thing every day. You're living a clean life.
Yeah.
You help people all day long. You're wicked smart. Okay? It's like, dude, what's cool changes. That was high school. Now we're getting into the real world.
That's right.
Okay? 34 years old, you're in the real world now. Mm-hmm. You can be anything you want, and you can have a career for as long as you want and do whatever you want for as long as you want. That ain't the way it is in sports. You thought you were behind. You're ahead. You just didn't know it.
That's powerful, actually. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm not judging. I'm just reporting. These are facts.
You were correct.
You're ahead of the game. Everybody who's leaving there, who thinks they're all that, who's going to be not able to put two nickels together in 3 years, you will have already had that experience of, I donkeyed off that fortune. Now I'm doing well, and I know what to do with my money. Absolutely. And I'm going to show people what to do with theirs, because I don't want my boys to make the same mistakes I did, because everybody donkeys off their first fortune. Doesn't matter if you're an athlete or not. You knew that, right?
That's a good point.
Everybody does. I did, not the last fortune. Okay? But my first fortune, everybody donkeys it off.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
That's correct. No,
right?
Yes, sir. I think it's, I would say, so I'm 9 years in recovery. This shift in perspective, again, the knowledge you're providing me here is something I'll carry with me. But this shift happened, I would say, 3 years ago, where I was no longer holding my head down. Where you actually believed that you were on a better track, and you weren't longing for or in mourning over what you did. Exactly. That shift happened about 3 years ago. And that is, as we both know, right, it's part of the process of being in recovery. And a lot of guys and gals who I speak to today who are starting their recovery journeys or 10 months or 10 years in the recovery journey all had to go through that same period, feeling like they let their close loved ones down or their friends down, themselves down, and just mourning what they've lost as opposed to understanding where they're at and what they can do, what they can gain.
How proud are your parents right now?
They are extremely proud.
They're more proud of you than they were when you were playing football. I can tell you that.
That is correct. It is a wonderful, this year has been, these 9 years of recovery have been better than any touchdown I've ever scored. And I think it's from everything that we've already discussed at the beginning of this year. I received a phone call from the athletic director at the University of Wisconsin-Madison that I am getting inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame next month in December, in December of this year. And yeah, that was heavy. That was heavy because it was like it all wasn't for nothing. It wasn't like, wow, thank you. That's a blessing. I can close that chapter. That's why this year has been one of significant growth in my recovery journey, because again, when I think about all that my family sacrificed financially, emotionally, now it's like it all didn't go down the drain. I'm getting in the hall, at least with one of them. Now I can close that and I can move on. Yeah. And so I mentioned that because I didn't know year one in the recovery, didn't know year two, didn't know. And I guess my point with sharing that is, as cliche as it sounds, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. As long as you wake up sober, you go to sleep sober.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. Let me tell you something. Okay, I hate that. Sobriety isn't its own gift. It isn't. I don't care what anybody says.
That's true.
If you don't find a life that is more valuable than the one where you are using and drinking, you can't stay sober. And I don't give what anybody says.
That's such a good way to put it.
Okay, well, it's the way I put it because it's true. But the whole idea of getting sober is to live a better life and hopefully to live your best life. Okay? And then, God willing, not have it call you all the time. Right? It calls you. Right? And I just wrote a book on transcendence. Right? And it's because it doesn't call me. I don't think about it. I can have a glass of wine and not give a shit. And you know what happens when I have a glass of wine and I start to feel it? I don't have that thing that says, oh, more is better. I go, oh, that's nice. That feels nice. Hand to God. Hand to God. 4 months ago. Had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Started kicking in about 2/3 of the way down. I said, that's nice. Man, you can get there, but the work has got to be there. Now, I'm not telling anybody, there's a time where you can drink. I mean, I know less than 1% of the people in recovery that have transcended drug addiction and alcoholism.
Right.
Okay. Which is why I didn't talk about it in my first book, because I didn't want anybody, you know how we are. Oh, it's me. I'm the one who's going to transcend it. Right? You're just, right?
Well, Richard told me.
Yeah, right. No. I'm transcended. Okay? Jesus Christ. But here's the good news, man. You are approaching 10 years.
I am.
And what you may not know, or you may know, is that, and I didn't know at the time, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. I was at my buddy Cam's house, and I was telling him my woes and everything. I had your time. I had 9 years. And he just starts laughing at me. I'm like, dude, I'm just bearing my soul to you. This is not appropriate. That's not what I was looking for,
Right.
Right? And so he starts laughing and he says, no, buddy, you don't understand. At 10 years, the world changes. And I said, I'm thinking, this is horrible. This makes no sense to me at all. This is just something people say. And he says, no. It happened to me and all 6 of my boys. All of them. At some point in your 10th year, it's a rocket ship. I think he's full of shit. 10 years, 9 months, bam. Everything happens right to the moon. Right to the moon. It's a thing.
Wow.
It's a thing. If you guys can make it, it's a thing.
I didn't know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
you're right around the corner, bro.
I did not know
Right
that.
around the corner.
That's
What'd you think, dude? Do you think you were going to come on over here and not get hit with the lucky stick?
yeah, that's right.
God's looking out for you, dude.
That's right.
Yeah, you're on a winning streak right now.
I appreciate that, Richard. And honestly, it's I'm still learning, of course, right? I love the perspective that you had there, just about the transcendence part of it. Of obviously, as we all know, it's not just consuming the substance; it's your thought patterns. It's how it literally just changes the way that you behave, like prior to using, after using, and so. I guess I'm looking forward to that rocket ship.
Yeah,
it's
coming.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming.
And I'm not going to fumble it this time.
So let's do the disclosure thing. Okay. You were just hired by One Method by our CEO, Candy Henderson, who is my work wife, who I love desperately. And best in the world at what she does. Okay. And did you know she was offered $4 million a year and just turned it down so she could be here with us and hang out with us?
Did not know that.
Yeah.
She's that valuable.
Oh, she's a serious woman. That is a serious woman who everybody loves, who will roll up her sleeves and do everything, which no CEO would ever do. She's not too good to do anything. She's a unicorn. She's a unicorn.
That's what I keep hearing, and I love chatting with her.
She's the best.
I do.
She's the most knowledgeable in the industry. When she came out here for the first time to meet me, I had her in the car for 14 hours.
14 hours.
14 hours. We went and looked at every property. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I would not let her out of the car until she came to work for us. Wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even consider it. I mean, it was false imprisonment.
It's lightning in a bottle. You weren't going to let it go. No, that's why I can tell. Like I said, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I know where Method is. I know where Method's going, and I'm blessed to be part of the team. This is a rocket ship.
Well, she loved you, and she thought you were as real, and the humility and the genius and the whole Montee.
There you go.
It's the whole Montee,
which is what I had to learn in therapy.
Right.
That football was just a piece of your puzzle, not the whole puzzle.
Dude, you're so much more than football.
Right.
You're so much more than football. Do you throw a football?
No, I have a no. I mean, I threw a touchdown pass to Russ. Speaking of that, so I tied Barry Sanders' single season touchdown record in 2011 with 39 touchdowns.
You had 39 touchdowns.
39.
You had 50. I thought you had 55 one year.
I have the all-time record of touchdowns in the history of the NCAA. I own that.
That's right.
Well, the quarterback, there's an asterisk by it. The quarterback of Navy beat me, but
right. Well, he's got 88.
Yeah. But long story short, 39 touchdowns in 2011. Well, they don't count the pass that I threw to Russell Wilson for a touchdown.
Right.
They don't count it. But if you look at the box score, he's got a receiving touchdown. I have 100% passing rating. Where does that touchdown go?
Right.
I should be the single season touchdown record holder with 40. So if you go look at my stats, you'll see that they have me earmarked for sure of 33 rushing, 6 receiving. Where's that throw?
It's a touchdown pass.
So
it's not a touchdown.
No, I can't throw. But that season I did have 2 completions to Russell Wilson.
That's so cool. I forgot for whatever reason, I forgot he was at Wisconsin. I just remembered he was at
NC State.
NC State.
He had another year of eligibility and, of course, was shopping and fell with Wisconsin. He was drafted by the Colorado Rockies.
But that was that's when he got really good.
Right.
With Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We played in 3 straight Rose Bowls, and I'm actually, again, I brag a little bit. I'm getting inducted into the Rose
it's
Bowl.
bitchin'.
I'm getting inducted into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame at the end of December.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I'll be back. I'll be in Pasadena doing the whole Rose Bowl parade.
Dude, that's so cool.
That's
so cool.
I love the game.
You know what you should do? You should open a cigar joint in Madison, Wisconsin.
Look, this rocket ship, I'm throwing many ideas in there, right? Because we're taking them all with me. In any way, of course, that I can be of service. Not as I don't want to be so diplomatic here, but I'm ready to get to work with method. I am to help people.
Well, you help people. Hey, man, you're still friends with people in the sports world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when I played sports, I have a saying that everything I ever needed to learn in life, I learned through team sports. Everything, right? Leadership, qualities, everything, right?
That resilience piece is huge.
Oh my God.
As you know, probably better than most people.
Dude, I'm not resilient at all.
I
am the most unresilient person alive. I went ahead when I was a kid and I'd throw an interception. That would be it.
Well,
I'd be like, it's not a perfect game. God damn it. And I just lose my shit, right? I'd throw 2 or 3 of those, 4 of those in a row. I'm calling timeout. I'm walking to the side. And my coach is like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, God, I'm so angry. And he's like, oh, you just out. I mean, it was just no resilience. None.
So can I pose a question? And then I would love to hear your point. I apologize for over talking here, but it's.
You're over talking?
You say,
you're my guest and I won't shut. I won't stop running my mouth.
No, you're fine. You say you have no, I would assume that you've used and also developed a significant amount of resilience in the business industry, in the business world. I'm sure you got beat up plenty of times with your first businesses.
Yeah.
And now look at you. So that doesn't just happen, or else everybody would be a successful business owner.
And I got lucky this time. This time it was no. This time it was different. My last place. You remember my last place, right?
I do. I do know the name. So, I don't want to say it, but
it's all right. So, I mean, it's just I don't like saying it because now they're. I mean, seriously, I called over there the other day and it's like, hey, Rich, just keep mentioning us because everybody thinks this is still your place and we're filling up.
I was going to say it earlier in this interview, this podcast, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to say it.
And do you know I still call it this because it's so. I still say that. I still call Carrera Cliffside at least once a day.
You said it. All right.
I just, it's part of my DNA.
Yeah.
And it was so easy. It was so easy the first time. The entire world has changed now. And it was so hard. And I just started getting my ass beat. And I was scared because 31 people, the best people in the industry, left Cliffside to come be here with us at Carrera. 31.
That's a lot.
In the same week. Okay? It must have felt like the end of a Godfather movie, right? And I didn't do it to harm anybody. I did it because I bought one method, right? From this kid named Cassidy Cousins, right? Who was an acquaintance of mine. And he calls me and he's like, I can't make payroll. What do you mean you can't make payroll? You got rehab. When's payroll? 36 hours. How many clients you got in the place? We got 9 patients. All right, I'll be right there. So I go over there, I buy the place because you can't not.
Right.
There's 9 people there.
Yeah.
You don't make payroll. All the workers are going out with couches and computers and TVs. It's like, and then it becomes a shooting gallery.
Literally.
Or a crack house, right? They'll never go get treatment again. They'll never trust the process again. Never, right? So I'm like, I can't have it, right? So I walk in, I buy it. I come home and I tell the four of us that are still sitting there, people who had worked at the prior place, but then when I sold said, I'm not working for anybody but him. So they went on to become therapists and doctors, and, right? Went on to kill the world. Don't worry, they're all back. And so we're all together again. And so I come home after buying the place, and these four women look at me and they're just start packing their stuff. And I'm like, where are you guys going? Oh, we're going to see what you did. And I'm not like you at all. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the king. You people forgot who I was, right? And I'm doing that whole thing, right?
I hear you.
And they're like, no, dude, we didn't forget who you were. It's a different world. We'll be back in a couple hours. And they left. And they came back with the blood rushed out of their face. They said, you bought nothing but a money pit. I said, what are you talking about? They don't even have staff. I said, babe, I just met the entire staff. What's wrong with you? How many shifts do we have, Rich? I'm sorry? Well, we're a 24/7, 365-day-a-year business.
Yeah.
We don't sleep. How many shifts in a 24-hour day? I'm like, 3 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
You met one shift, and that's all they've got.
Oh.
They don't have any nurses. They don't have anything. They've got nothing, Rich. You bought nothing. You killed us before we got started. And all I wanted to do was build Carrera slow and gentle, just like I did the last thing. But I couldn't let this thing go because there were people there.
Of course.
It drove me nuts. So I look at them and I'm like, okay, you guys go home. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. This will be fixed in the morning. Okay? You people have no faith. Go home. Go home, faithless. Right? So the faithless went home.
Yeah.
And I locked the door, and then I ran into bed and cried myself to sleep.
I was going to say, how was that night?
No. Cried myself to sleep like a little bitch, right? I was such a baby, right? I can't believe you. I do not believe you're going to ruin me after all this. I've got too much goodwill in the bank. There's no way you're going to do this to me, right? I mean, this is like to God, like at night, right? I cry myself to sleep. I wake up in the morning, and I usually shave in the shower because who wants to look at their grandfather in the mirror? But for whatever reason, I'm shaving in the mirror, and it just hit me, man. I just looked at myself and I said, everybody comes home today. So I got on the phone. I called 10 of the best people in the world who still worked at the other place. And I said, I'm sorry for the late notice, but everybody comes home today, right now. And they said, we're doing it again? I said, oh, yeah. And 10 showed up. 10 gave their notice in 1 hour.
What?
In 1 hour. I wanted to stay lean because we can't build there, and
Right.
we're not going to be licensed for another 6 months for Carrera. So this is all a bleed, right? All a bleed. But I got to take these 10 because now we got to roll
Literally.
our sleeves up and go to work and do a bunch of different jobs to save this thing, right? I mean, I really strained us. And the president of our company walks in, Erin, and she says to me, they're calling. Who's calling? She said, the people from Cliffside. I said, what do they want? She said, they want to know what's wrong with them. They want to know why they can't come. And I said, how many? And she said, 14. And I said, take them all. 6 more followed a week later. And then I called the HR person because we needed an HR person.
Of course.
And my sweet Lori, I call her up and I'm like, hey, babe, how you doing? She goes, oh, Richie, it's so good to talk to you, da-da-da-da. And I said, how do you like working there? She goes, oh, it's so great. The people are so great. I'm like, okay, I don't have an ear for this bullshit. You want to come home or not? And she goes, of course I want to come home. You took everybody that I love. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you here in 2 weeks. And
31.
31. And then the next, you can ask, you go back, right? Because everybody would say, we'd start filling up. You know, we took off. Like, God does bank shots just to show off in my life. Okay. I had no idea how to generate any business. I had no social media. Nobody watches TV anymore. Google doesn't work. Okay. All of a sudden, I'm on the cover of the LA Business Journal, and we fill up in 2 weeks because everyone knows I'm back. No clue how that happened. None. Bank shots.
It comes back to you.
It comes back.
It comes back to you.
And then what happened was, and you'll ask, the next 69 people that we had were by invitation only. What does that mean? That means when my friends come to me and they say, Rich, we're getting too busy, man. I'm getting overwhelmed. I need some help. Will you hire somebody? And I'm like, no, I will not. But Rich, I need the help. Good. Go find somebody to help you. You're responsible for that person. You're responsible for bringing the lover into our place. Don't bring me somebody who's desensitized to the process of helping out another human being. All lovers come to us. You're responsible for the people you hire. I do it backwards, bro.
Is it backwards though?
I do it backwards. I don't hire the people with
That's subjective.
With the pedigree or whatever. I hire lovers, and then we coach them up and we make them the best in the world, because love is the foundation of everything we do. Because you can't walk into treatment, okay, full of shame, and then, you know, have people kicking your ass while you're down. That's like the worst thing ever. It's like, so, like, dude, that is the most cruel thing I've ever heard. Like, why don't you just go smack a baby or something?
Yeah. I challenge I challenge you. I don't know if it's backwards. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be.
Oh. Hey.
Proof's in the pudding, right?
I get lucky, dude. I just get lucky. It's lucky. Think of it this way, okay? Everyone's empty. Everyone's empty. People can go to treatment right now for $50. Everybody's empty.
Right.
Just walk in, say, hey, this is what I got.
Yeah.
You're empty. I need help. Okay? We've got a wait list. And I feel bad because I don't want them waiting. I'm like, no. I mean, I got on the phone with somebody the other day. And I'm like, no, babe, listen to me. You can go here. Go to my old place. My old place isn't going to hurt anybody. Okay? Yeah, but they're not you. It doesn't matter. You're doing illegal street drugs. Right. 70% of that, it's got in it. And 1 out of every 6-7 pills has a lethal dose in it. Just go now. No, I was listening to your podcast. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? Yeah, you said that you built this place for people that if they could afford to come here and they didn't come here and they went somewhere else and they found out about it later, they would be livid. You said you built it for that purpose. I said, I did. Well, then I'm waiting for you.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Thank God he made it.
That was my question.
Oh, how many times has somebody made an appointment, okay, to come into treatment? Let's say a week. Oh, I can't do this now. I've got this and that going on, but I can come a week from tomorrow. Okay, and then you say, okay, we'll leave a deposit because everybody wants to come, and so they say no problem. And then you're calling to get them in, and they're not coming in. You're calling every number, and then a mother answers the phone and says, oh, I'm so sorry. He passed away yesterday. Ooh. If I had a nickel for every time that happened to me, I'd be living in Lower Bel Air. It happens all the time. That's why I don't like people waiting.
No, that's I've been, doing this, of course, for 9, 10 years, and that's happened. A handful of times. I don't want for it to increase, but unfortunately, we're battling a monster. So we need more people like yourself,
And
starting these places that are helping people.
Well, you're the one, bro, because I don't do that anymore. I don't see, I don't go to treatment centers anymore and do one-on-one stuff anymore with people. I don't, because I'm hit and miss, right? When I'm on, I think, or I've been told by people who would know better, okay, that, one-on-one with an alcoholic, I'm as good as it gets. Okay, and I believe that with all my heart. But I ain't on all the time. I'm not at my best all the time. I'm 59. I'm exhausted. It's like there's only so much negotiating you can do with a drug addict before you're old enough and you're like, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
I can't hear it anymore, right? So if you're not at your best and you can't be your best version of yourself, and it's got to be a love call. It has to be loving.
Literally.
If I can't be loving, I am useless. Useless. If I walk in with the heart of a servant, joyfully, it has to be joyfully. If you walk in with the heart of a servant, joyfully, there is nothing you can't do. Nothing. That's the secret sauce. And now you know.
And now I know. That's it. That is it. I wouldn't say, well, intentionality is so important. So for me, I make sure to, when I wake, again, not to be so cliche, but I lead with that of the foundation being love when I chat with families, when I go into these rooms where mom and dad's crying with their 17-year-old or 25-year-old or 30-year-old, or when I'm chatting via text or phone call with someone who reached out to me years ago was struggling then. I led the conversation with love, and now today we were texting this morning about this guy I mentioned earlier, and we're chatting about the NFL. We're chatting about the World Series game, the Game 7, one of the greatest Game 7s across all sports.
That was so good.
And so, point being of just people under the influence, they're really good at seeing through people's. Man, if you don't lead with love, they can call you out in a heartbeat.
We're such a gifted people. We're so gifted.
Yeah, they're like they can see right through it.
Yeah,
see right through it, and so. It's one thing he mentioned to me, and again, this is just one case where, again, now we know it's not I wasn't doing it to brag about it. He knows that now, because now we just talk about cooking.
You don't have a brag button.
No.
You don't have that. When you say it, it's I'm proud of myself. I did this. I'm proud. It's not a brag thing. It's hey, I did this and it was good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Because I could have put my tail in between my legs and ran off somewhere. And
everybody would have folded, dude. Everybody. Right? Nobody would have lost what you lost. Show me one guy who lost what you lost, turned his life around, okay, and did something better with it. Better. Because trust me when I tell you, this is better. God gives a shit more about this than he does about that. Trust me on this one. On my life.
I hear you loud and clear. I hear you.
And dude, you're the best thing Candy's done. And Candy's done a lot of great things here.
I'm ready for the rocket ship. And I'm ready to continue helping more people. So I'm not done yet, Richard. No, I'm not. I think I'm willing to continue to pour my life and soul into this because I see it every day from people who I've talked to years ago, texting me and calling me. Of course, some of these stories aren't great. That's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately, which is why we're sitting here, wanting to help more people. But those stories of people picking themselves up, mom and dad getting their child back, mom and dad getting their young adult back, the young adult getting their wife back, their spouse, whomever it is.
That's everything.
That is everything. That's everything.
Other than my children, this is The greatest thing I've ever done, because it gives me self-esteem. I would not have self-esteem if I didn't do this, because I'm incapable of doing anything else. There's nothing else I can do.
That's
I give
powerful.
people back their loved ones. I build a culture of accountability and family. We run this place like a football team. Because that's all I know. That's all I know. We run this place like a football team. When someone makes an excuse, do you know what I said? Somebody made an excuse to me the other day. Do you know what I said to them?
What did you say?
I said, look, we don't do things over and over again until we get them right. We do them over and over and over again until we can't get them wrong.
Boom.
And then I went, thank you, Coach Saban.
I mean, to your point,
How the hell did you not go to Alabama?
I didn't get recruited by them. They weren't looking at me. I didn't get a single SEC offer.
Who was the coach back then? It wasn't.
Was it Saban?
No.
Not that long ago?
No way.
I'll be with Saban in December. We're both getting inducted. And so,
I want to go.
let's chat offline here.
go.
And
my
it's in
God.
Vegas.
I love Coach Saban.
Urban Meyer, Michael Strahan, Vick, me. We're all going to be there.
Michael Vick ain't bringing his dogs, is he?
I'll leave my comments.
God damn. Dude, he's another one.
Yeah.
He lost everything and came back. What was the owner of the Eagles gave him a shot, and he did great. He came back and played another few years and did great.
Yeah, now coaching at Norfolk State.
Is he?
Yes, sir.
Good for
Norfolk
him.
State.
He's great.
He is. I think it's.
Dude, we don't judge anybody on their worst day. I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
That's. Thank you for saying that, because I think it's what I mentioned, of course, 3 years ago when I stopped holding my head low. I crucified myself enough. It's kind of you can't change the past. So like, why are you continuing to mourn the situation that you can't change? Like, you're going through that painful moment again and again and again and again and again. But also, of course, it's, I pat myself on the back today because it did take a lot of courage. I had to go sit into rooms where I know people have preconceived notions about me, and I knew what I wanted to do, which is help people. And so
People don't have preconceived notions about you, dude. People are so fucking narcissistic and self-involved, right? They're thinking about themselves,
which is probably a narcissistic thought of me to have, to think that they're thinking of me.
No, if you have the ability to look at yourself and say, was that narcissistic? Then you're not a narcissist.
That's true. I mean, I guess, I'm kind of just puking here. I guess what I'm getting at is, yes, I think we live for 80, 90, whatever years. And it's like, if you can see that people have fallen and they've gotten up and they're trying to better their life, that's what this whole experience of 80 to 90 years is about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It sucks to fall, though,
It
man.
does. It hurts.
It hurts.
Gosh, it hurts. And so I'm blessed to be part of this rocket ship, because I know that we're going to, with the resources that the team has, I'll be able to help thousands more.
Well, get buckled up, because we're going to start picking people right off the streets.
All right.
Veterans right off the street.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be doing it. Okay. And we're going to put them into treatment, because I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
See, you didn't grow up here, but this is my city. I've been here 59 out of 59 years, and it's turned into a hole.
Yeah. I hear a lot about it.
Okay. It's heartbreaking. Now, we've got two good politicians that are cleaning this thing up. One is a woman by the name of Tracy Park, who is a council person here for the West Side, who's cleaning up everything and has done a magnificent job.
Okay.
Magnificent. And the other is our district attorney, a guy by the name of Nathan Hockman, who ain't about the and those gangs that run into a place and knock over old ladies and mothers with strollers and just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just none of that. That's over.
Good.
Okay. So we're getting that back, but I've never been anywhere.
But here.
I don't go. I don't do vacations. Very rarely, every 4, 5, 6 years. I work around the clock. That's what I do. I work for my family and my friends and for the people I'm responsible for. Dude, you're going to have the best fucking time here. Best time in the world.
I've been smiling since I signed on. And so and following this, I'm feeling better. Not as if I wasn't feeling great. This has added a lot more to it. Well, again, this rocket ship analogy is I'm ready.
You're a great football player, man, but you're a better man.
Thank you.
Much better man.
Thank you.
And you're a much better man than you were an NFL player.
Yeah, right. That was quick. I always have to tell people, I was like, I had a cup of coffee with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Cup of coffee.
Dude.
It's
you're friends with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Like, if you saw them out, you guys would dap up and give each other a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, if they saw me, they'd turn around and walk the other way.
Look, I'm 34 years old. That's one goal down. I got many more to go. And I'm grateful to have corrected, or rather, I've this self-diagnostic check, my relationship with the bottle. I'm glad it happened in my 20s.
Hell yeah. Are you kidding? Of course.
No,
Hey, I want to
fine.
talk about your son.
Yeah.
Tell me his name.
Maverick.
Tell me about us.
Yeah. Maverick, 9 years old. He is.
Do you guys live together?
No, we do not. Co-parenting with his mother.
How's that?
So I'll share. Like I said, I'm an
Yeah.
open book. I'll get right into this. So after, the situation happened with the young woman back in Wisconsin, I was arrested and I spent the weekend in jail, and I watched the Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers, Super Bowl 50, while I was in jail. And they just released me like 4 or 5 months prior. I got out, and like 6 days later, I received a text from a lady in Colorado saying she's 7 months pregnant, and that I'm the father. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, whoa.
That happens in Jewish culture all the time.
Again, there's zero frustrations there because I had my own stuff. I obviously wasn't in the right frame, the right mindset to reach out to. I was being toxic in a sense. But long story short, we then started to date as I had these like pending charges. And
The woman who is,
my son's mother.
okay, who is
So she-
7 months pregnant.
Yeah, so she's actually never seen a drunk Montee or anything. But we decided, like, we dated for 3 years. And we it just didn't work out. It really didn't, because it didn't work out before.
Right.
And so it kind of felt forced. And so we just felt like it's best to co-parent. And now he's always been doing well, but he goes to a private Catholic school in Colorado. He's got a green thumb. He loves to garden. 9 years old. He's healthy. He is very healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally. And he doesn't care too much for football, which
Great.
that's fine. Right.
Totally.
I'm like, protect your brain.
My kid plays with a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. See?
17 seconds.
Whoa.
He learned that after a month.
Wow.
I know.
See, I love that stuff though, and that's what we've been pouring into Mav, is just this arts, right? And of course, going to a private school helps with that as well. There's more hands-on, individualized, schooling in a sense. But he's really into, like I said, music, green thumb. He does like volleyball. His mom played it, and lacrosse as well. But he obviously doesn't know yet, but the time will come where he, will understand how much he means to me. He does at 9, but
How far? How close do you live to him?
approximately like 12 minutes, 12-minute drive.
So
It's like 9 miles.
how often do you see him?
Once a week, twice a week, as in like I have him. And so,
but if you wanted to drive him to school every day, you could.
yeah. We have
Like, you guys have a great relationship.
amicable relationship. It is our relationship is good, and
Good.
that's the only reason why I'm out there in Colorado.
Right.
Because I probably would have stayed in Wisconsin or went back to Missouri, but of course I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be there for him.
That's right.
And so he knows how much I love him, but he doesn't know yet about, like, when he was born. I held him and I said, I'm never going to touch the bottle again, ever. And I haven't, and I don't plan to. So
Isn't that funny?
because he was born in April of 2016. I was arrested in February 5th of 2016. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt the same way when my daughter was born. You know, I owned that last place and I had it for, I think, 6 years. I think I was 6 years sober at the time when I had her. And the second she was born, I went into the biggest depression I've ever been in. And I was thinking about why that is, and it hit me. Because in the back of my mind, I always held a space for one day I'm going to be out of this business and sell it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be able to smoke crack and never stand up again and die the right way. Right? I figured I'd have 3 years to go on a crack run before my heart fell out. Okay, and I just dropped. And then I had this kid. Now understand, I own one of the most successful treatment centers in the world at this time. Yeah. And this is my thinking because I can hold it together, but one day I'm going to do this again. This is who I am to my core. One day I'm going back there. Okay? I was holding that, right? And I just, after my daughter was born, it's just, yeah, I can never do this again. Ever. Ever. And people don't understand that. People don't understand. I say it all the time. You don't know what love is until you have a child. You think you do, but you don't. No. People with cats get upset. They go, I've got a cat. I'm like, shh, quiet.
You get it. You understand it.
Yeah.
Other parents, of course, understand it as well. It's there was no, for me, and I get it. There for some, like you said, you get a glass of wine. I can't.
No, and you better not, because
right.
you can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important part of people understanding their own treatment process, their own journey, their own recovery journey is. Once he was born, I was like, there will not be a moment where I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I think I can.
Right.
No, I don't know what it was, Richard. I don't know what touched me. Love, maybe. But when I held him, it was, I don't need that. I don't need that. Now, again, it wasn't that simple. It wasn't just like a light switch that happened. Therapy, of course,
right,
was huge. But I sort of had that leg up in a sense when I went to therapy. It's like, okay, now figure out who you are, Montee, because now you got a child. Now let's figure out who you are outside of the game of football, outside of that excruciating and soul-crushing performance anxiety. Let's figure out ways to deal with that performance anxiety, because you're going to have it regardless, no matter which industry you go into. But let's just, long story short, let's give you these tools to figure out who you are. And then, of course, so you can be there for your son.
Hey, man. This has been a great time.
Yeah.
It's been a great time. Before we go, I want to touch on this real quick. You know anybody who you're close to, or anybody you got close to? You know anyone who's had a family member or child die?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how that family's doing?
Not well. And I'll share it. And that's the alarming part about it. I had no clue you were going to ask that question, but once you finished it, I immediately knew. That's just how prevalent it is, unfortunately. My grandmother's sister, so my great aunt, her son, and I'll say his name, Brian, passed away 4 years ago from and it's the ripple effect is so
destroyed.
It is. And I think about my granddad all the time. I really do, because there is a healing path for all. In this scenario, you can choose it if you want to, but my gosh, I don't know. That takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to lose a child to fend. And so, to your question, she's trying. And I think about her all the time.
It's never going to be the same. You got brothers and sisters?
Yeah, he does. His sister is a police officer. My cousin. And she's trying.
We do good things, dude. I want you to remember something, and I don't ever want you to forget it. Every bad thing you've done, every one of them, has been erased. That's not who you are anymore. Every bad thing you've ever done has made an amends for how you live your life today and who you are, who you give. You give people back their families. You're a good father. You're a good co-parent.
Oh, yeah.
You're a good man. And everything in your life from this moment forward is going to be a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
No problem, pal.
Thank you.
Now look into that camera and say, I'm taking Candy to meet Coach Saban.
I'm taking Candy to meet Coach Saban. That's right.
That's right, Candy.
We can make it happen.
Hey.
Again, we'll chat here.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
What he said.
We're out of time. Please subscribe on YouTube, click the thumbs up, and leave a comment. Please subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify and leave a rating and a review. And share the We're Out of Time podcast with others you know who will get value out of it. See you next Tuesday.